Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I use the Chroma software to create this split letter monogram embroidery file. It's really simple with the Chroma software. So let's get started. So here we are in Chroma software. Now this is a feature that is available in Chroma Inspire, which is free with the purchase of any embroidery machine from Chroma. But I have Chroma Luxe, but again, this is part of Chroma Inspire. So even if you don't have the upgraded version of Chroma Luxe, you can still use this feature. What I'm talking about is the auto digitizing feature, and the auto digitizing feature works really well with SVG files. I know a lot of my subscribers are Cricut users. You have a plethora of SVG files, and you can convert those pretty easily with this software into embroidery files. So let me just show you. That's what we're going to do today. I thought it would be kind of fun to make a towel for my daughter's in-laws to hang on the front of their stove or whatever. But that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with a split letter monogram, and I will link this SVG file in the description below the video. But in order to do that, the first thing we're going to do is click up here in the far left corner, and we see this A with a circle around it. That's the auto digitizing button. So when you click that, it gives you a couple different options here. I'm going to leave it on auto, but you can make a cross stitch pattern or an artwork pattern. And here you're going to click on browse, and you're going to navigate to where you have the SVG file that you want to use. And we're going to use this one right here. And then you're going to click next. And just like that, it has auto digitized this split letter monogram. So let's turn on the 3D feature by clicking this one that looks like a 3D box right up here in the top. And there you can see what this looks like digitized in a 3D fashion. So I've already sized the SVG to the size that I wanted for the file, but if you wanted to check on the size, you could go over here to the left-hand guide and choose this one that kind of looks like a comb, and you can measure from one end by clicking and dragging to the other end, and this is about 4¼ inches wide, which is what I wanted. So now I want to add a name to this. So I'm going to click on the T, which is the text tool, and then I'm going to click down on the canvas, and that's going to bring up our text box. So up here in our text box, I can click in this yellow box, and that will take me to all of the fonts that are available inside the Chroma software. I'm just going to use this one called Cooper. So I'm going to double click on that, and then in the box right next to it, I'm going to type the name. So I've got the name typed. Here I can change the height, and it is at 0.79 by default. I'm going to put it at 0.5. I think that's going to be just a little bit too big. Oops, I've got an extra point in there. Okay. And we can change any of these things that we want. I don't need to change any of them, so I'm going to click apply. And you can see right there I've got the name. So I'm going to click on it and drag it over here. And yeah, that's about the size that I want. So what you could do is select all and click Align Center by using this button right here. But because of the nature of this particular design, you can see that this side has a little bit more of the ornate swirls sticking out on the left, and there aren't any sticking out on the right. And I want the name to be centered between here and here. So I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm just going to click on the name and drag it over manually, because if I center it, it's going to look off. That looks good to me. So all that's left to do is very easily, I could change the colors if I want, and I think I'm just going to leave it as is and change my thread when I get over to the machine. But all that's left to do is go ahead and save this to my flash drive. So I'm just going to go up to here to File, Save. I can change the name. If you save the first file that comes up, the .rde, that is a working file. That means if I go to stitch this out and I want to make any other changes, I can do that. if you just save your DST file, you can't go back and edit that file other than make it bigger or smaller. So always save that RDE file. So I'm going to save that first, and then I'm going to go back and File, Save As, and I'm just going to switch that RDE by backspacing. I'm on a Mac, and I'm going to type DST, which is the type of file I need, and we're going to click Save. As always, I'm going to also print this out. So I'm going to click on the little printer. That's going to give me the print preview, and if we look at the second page, we can see it's going to stitch the letters first, or the monogram first, and then the letters second. So let's go ahead and print that out, and we'll set this up and stitch it out. This is the towel that I'm going to be putting the embroidery on. I'm going to fold it in half to establish where the center point is. And I'm just going to kind of finger crease it. I can tell by the design on here that it's on this second line, and I'm going to line that up on my mat just to give me an idea. It's on the 12-inch line. I'm going to try to keep this straight. This is a towel from the Target dollar spot, so it's nothing probably of high quality, but I want to make sure that I get this on here straight. So this is my center line about right here. So I'm going to line the center line of my printout right in that same spot. And I'm going to pin my design to the towel right where I want it. And some people don't print their designs, so don't feel like you have to. I just find this easier than marking. So now it's time to hoop. So I'm going to start by centering my hoop on the mat. And I'm using the grid lines on my mat to make sure that it is straight. And then I'm going to take 2 pieces of tearaway. I've just got one big one. I fold it in half, so I've got 2 layers of tearaway. This is a pretty thin towel, so I want to make sure that it's stabilized well. And I'm just going to center that over there. Now I'm going to take my towel, and I'm going to put the bulk of it away from me. And I am going to try to center this design right in the center of the hoop. And I'm just using my fingers to feel. I've got room on the sides, room on the top, room on the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the center of the hoop. We can take care of that at the machine, but I have a good distance. Now I want to make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to straighten my towel up using the grid on my mat, make sure that the hoop is still straight. It looks good. Checking it on the side. That's why I like working on a mat. So the hoop is straight. Now I just want to make sure this towel is straight. So I'm going to use this horizontal line on my printout and see if I line up with that, if it is straight, clear across the ruler, and it is. So it's time to go ahead and add the top of our hoop. So when you're looking at the top of the Mighty Hoop, the side with the circle is the side that faces me when it's in the machine. I want to make sure that the bulk of that towel is facing me. So I'm going to put the Mighty Hoop on so that the side that's facing me, the side with the holes, is the side with the rest of the towel. So I'm going to just go ahead and put it right down. And just like that, it's hooped and in the center of the design. So you can see the bulk of my towel is here. It's going to go in the machine like this. So this part of the towel is going to be facing me, and I can keep that out of the way. So let's hop over to the machine and we'll get this set up. So I've already added the hoop to the machine. I'm just going to take this bulk of the towel and just put a clip on it just to keep this from accidentally getting under there and getting caught. So just clip it out of your way, or hold it out of your way, tape it out of your way, however it works for you. I just want to make sure that it doesn't accidentally get underneath the machine. So we need to grab our design and get things set up, and then we'll get stitching. So the first thing we need to do is unlock our machine. It's unlocked, and get our file. So we're going to go to File. We're going to click on the flash drive, and it's this one right there. And we're going to send it to the machine by clicking this button right here with an arrow in the machine. We're going to click on the machine, go grab the same file, it'll be the last one. There it is, and we're going to click OK. So now we need to tell it which hoop we're going to use. So we're going to click on Design Set, go to the hoops. I'm going to choose Other because I don't have a hoop set up for the Mighty Hoops. We're going to choose Other, and then we need to rotate it. Our design is upside down now on the hoop. So we need to click on this F and choose the upside down F, and that's telling the machine that we want you to rotate this upside down. We're going to click OK. Hit escape. Now we need to choose our colors. So we're going to go to the colors, and the first color is going to be the ornate letter R, and I'm going to do that in my color number 4. And the second one is the name, and I'm going to do that in my color number 2. We're going to click OK. Once we have our color set, we can adjust the speed. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. I'm at 880 stitches per minute. I can increase that once we get started and I know everything's running good. So now I'm going to click on the needles, and I'm going to tell it to go to needle number 1. So now we need to center needle number 1 with that center point of our towel, and actually I'm almost right on it. So we're going to hit escape, and I just need to move the frame back a hair. And we are right on that crosshair of the design. Okay, so now we're just going to click the trace button, which is this one right here. And we're just checking to make sure that that's not going to go anywhere near the frame. And it's not. If it was close and we wanted to get a closer look, you can use this design trace, which will actually trace around every little curve. So let's go ahead and remove our design. Make sure you remove all those pins and your design, and we can go ahead and hit start. And here's our finished project. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned how to create an embroidery file from an SVG using the Chroma software. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell so that you're notified every time there is a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Never stop making.